Lanes Building Supply is an established company within Queensland. We started in the 1970s. To run Lanes successfully, we need a lot of different elements to come together. We need our enterprise resource provisioning package to touch all the aspects of our business, from our automated saws in the factory to shop floor control, HR, sales, accounts payable. For Lanes, technology is a cornerstone of what we do. Without it, we do not function. So when we choose partners for our technology, it has to be robust. But at the same time, we need the ability to change our direction. A lot of businesses get stuck in well, we've been doing it that way for 20 years. We don't want to be one of those businesses. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. Later last year, I decided that we had to really look at our infrastructure. There were some business requirements that we couldn't meet. A lot of it is around power, a lot of it is around capability networking, latency, as you add more staff, and how do you scale out your architecture to meet that? Traditionally, you have an application, you put a box in. That involves me looking at storage for that application, networking for that application, and then hardware for that application. What server am I putting it on? And then you're left with a whole heap of legacy equipment as well. We went to market, we looked at all the competitors, we proved of concept, a number of them. Nutanix was very, very helpful in terms of that. They shipped us a box, we've got to set it up, we've got to play with it, we've got to break it. It didn't break, by the way. We tried our best, but we got some live experience with it. And our users, who aren't technology people, they got to touch it and feel it and say, okay, well, this makes sense. I understand what he's talking about now. So the proof of concept was top-notch. Everybody at Nutanix, from pre-sales to support, really helped to make it a good experience for everybody, not just for me, but for my users as well. Once the devices arrived, it was the fastest run-up I've ever seen. Just plug them into your 10 gig switches and let them rock. In fact, Nutanix is quite boring. I don't have to play with it every day. Normally, this sort of stuff, you have to spend a lot of time babying it. We had a case here where we had a circuit go down, and unfortunately the Nutanix cluster went down. But by the time I got to work, the cluster was back up. It had powered on, it had healed itself, everything came back just like Nutanix said that it would. I've never seen a product function the way that the people proclaim it will. And someone said, Matt, aren't you doing yourself out of a job? And I said, no, because it just frees me up to do things that propel the business forward. I don't want to spend my time looking after all this infrastructure. It should just work.
Our biggest external gain, I think, from the system is that we've been able to take our in-house software externally. And we are now able to take our complex CAD and engineering design software to site, into the actual building environment.
You can be working on a 3D model in CAD from an iPad, from an iPhone. Sales reps that would have to come in to the office and spend hours catching up on paperwork, whatever. Really, they should be in the field.
Before the new IT solution was introduced, my day involved spending a lot of time dealing with issues resulting of sales, putting out fires. Since the introduction of the new IT solution, I've been able to have everything at my fingertips 24/7, and gives me the opportunity to spend the 9 to 5 with my clients being proactive instead of reactive.
There's been some great benefits for myself. I can run up new servers at a drop of a hat. The other thing is we used to care about the endpoint. What type of device is someone using? Now we just don't care. And if they lose it, again, we don't care. None of their files are on the device, so all our data security is intact. We can employ the best staff around Australia, around the world, because we can give them the same seamless experience as if they're here. If we're going to open a new branch somewhere, how do you put that infrastructure in place then? Well, I'll just add some more nodes, thank you. And the cluster is aware. The biggest change is our power consumption. Our IT infrastructure is down to 7 amps. This allowed Lanes to do something that we haven't previously been able to do, and that is to move our infrastructure off-site to a dedicated professional data centre, which has far better redundancy than I could ever put into an on-site facility of my own. And without Nutanix, I couldn't have done it.